Oh, hi, camera. Hi again. Welcome back to the Vainglory International Premier League here on OGN. We just finished up our first match. Was a rather blowout win for PQQ. Let's see what we got next. Beyond versus VAP coming up next.
To be honest, I was kind of expecting that out of the first match, but I think the second one should be a lot closer. Even just looking at the information we have in front of us, these guys seem to have different strategies planned out. I'm not going to spoil anything before we get into it just yet, but I think these guys have been playing for a lot longer. They've been playing together for a lot longer as well. So I think we should have a very, very close game this time around.
That's right. And beyond, your players will be Function, Yota, and Forgotten War. And for those of you who saw the qualifier matches, they did change some of their IDs, but these are still the same players.
Yep.
Meanwhile, on VAP, Lily, Chivalry, and Kill B representing VAP. And coming into this one, Beyond is a very interesting team. Their jungler likes to run Celeste, and they play with some interesting double crystal power compositions. They have the Adagio in the lane for both of their matches, and running with that roamer, Arden.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about the possibilities. Arden and Adagio, double ult coming in. You can't escape Arden. Can't escape Adagio. That idea excites me. I wonder if we're going to get to that.
Yeah, it's so interesting because Arden, if we think about him setting up the gauntlet, basically it sets you up for more and more AoE stun with the ultimate from Adagio, with Celeste, of course, getting that big AoE stun there as well. So it's an interesting setup, and they played the Arden Adagio Celeste composition in all of their qualifier matches, so we may have to see how much depth there is to this team. However, we are going to be starting with VAP. Just taking a look at Lily right there on the end.
Yeah, he is the team's main strategist. He kind of sets up what these guys are going to do. And Chivalry over here is their jungle player. Likes to play... this is the jungler, actually.
Yeah,
Not sure.
They switched positions from the qualifier. So a little bit of a role swap there between Lily and Chivalry. And Kill B will be the laner on the end. Played Vox in both of the qualifier matches.
Wonder if that stands for Kill Bill. That's what I would think. That's the only thing I can think of at this moment in time. Maybe I'll ask him.
You can ask him later.
Playing a lot of Vox. We'll see if we'll see that this time around. It is not banned. Wouldn't be surprised.
On the other side of the arena, we do have Beyond. Again, they came in with the Adagio Celeste Arden strategy, but I think we're going to have to see a little bit more from them tonight. I imagine that at least one of those will be banned out in this game just to check the depth of their team compositions. And actually, interestingly enough, Beyond was the team, for you League of Legends fans out there, that beat Rapid Star and Woong's team in the qualifier to make it to the International Premier League.
They were saying how they were nervous in that game, but they felt like they were better in Vainglory. That is obvious as they were able to make it here. This guy Function is really excited to be on camera.
Well, he had a 30 KDA in the qualifier on Adagio in lane, going 7-1-5, 10-0-8 in that qualifier. So a really solid performance. And of course, Forgotten War. Looks like he will be actually switching to the lane, so we have another positional shift.
Okay.
So it looks like Forgotten War now swapping over to the lane, even though he played jungle during his time in the qualifier.
Yep.
And we will see Function in the jungle.
He was the big Celeste jungler. I've been playing Celeste jungle actually before I even found out about these guys playing a lot of Celeste jungle. It is so strong, man. Let me tell you. You clear those camps so quickly, and the counter jungle potential is also fantastic, especially if you can get with a great roamer to roam around with you.
And we are going into picks and bans, and there's that Celeste band up there at the top by VAP. Not really a surprise. We're going to see something different, and this will be our first scarf.
Oh, this is awesome.
Of the VIPL.
This is fantastic. I've been waiting to see him. We'll see what they can do with that hero. Also picking up Catherine.
Yeah, pretty standard stuff there. So Yota will be playing that roam Catherine, and we'll see what Function. This is one of the first games that we haven't seen a glaive ban. That has been a very high priority ban. Of course, he gives so much utility with that knockback. can be a major threat, but Adagio and Catherine locked in for both teams here, and Vox will be the laner from Kill B. And we're going to get right into the game, VAP versus Beyond. Welcome to our first match of today in Group B. It will be Beyond versus VIP, and we are going to see our first Scarf. We're going to see Unforgotten War playing it in the lane, and I'm curious where that goes. Starting off actually with the sprint boots.
Yeah, that is something you do not see very often. I wonder if that's just to get away from the Vox. You know, Vox can definitely close the gap between himself and Scarf quite easily, and Scarf doesn't have the best escape potential, you know? He's got that slow, but if you miss it, you know, you can get into a bit of trouble. So I like the pickup, actually.
Well, there's a stun coming in from Catherine. Now, Yata and Function trying to do a little bit of kiting. They will have to back off. Continued harassment by VAP. We'll see if Scarf responds. Ground War staying in that lane right now. A nice steal by Lily.
Very, very big. Ground War still here in the lane, just farming up. Poking at Kobe at the same time. The Scarf pick is very interesting. The poke potential is there. With the Celeste ban, it's I would rate Scarf like right below Celeste in terms of, you know, they're very similar heroes. They do a lot of poke damage and just a lot of damage overall, a lot of crystal damage, I should say. And you know, Celeste is banned. You can pick up Scarf. She's I'm not even sure if it's a he or a she, but
you didn't check.
He or she.
Just look underneath.
Or Dragon.
Just look underneath Valdez.
Yeah?
Yeah. Good thing we have the spectator mode where we might be able to like zoom up under there.
Zoom in and rotate the camera. He's got a very big tail, so we'll leave it at that. But yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting. He's very good at burning down the Kraken, so it kind of takes that potential, that push potential from that, for sure. And can definitely do a lot of damage later on in the game as well.
Yeah, and as we take a look at Scarf in this game, as he actually is going to get stunned after hitting a scout trap right there, Lily trying to scrap a little bit, but without the laner walking on down, that will be pretty quick back off from VAP. And one thing that may be interesting here that is a little bit deceptive about Scarf is Dragon's Breath, his ultimate, actually gives move speed to his allies if you're moving in the same direction as that giant cone of flame. And when we have strong crowd control coming in, as we see Kill B get knocked by that merciless pursuit, they're going to finalize this kill. Kill will go over to Function.
That was a beautiful gank. Just coming in with the stun and then setting up the Adagio slow as well as the Scarf slow. There was no getting away from that for Kill B. Almost called him Kill Bill.
Well, you have to, yeah, you have to be so careful if you're walking close to that brush, too, because you just don't have the vision in there if there's not a scout trap in there. And it's especially dangerous because if we look at Adagio, his slow comes if he uses the Gift of Fire on himself. So you have to get pretty close to Adagio, which, you know, you kind of have to face check that brush, is what I'm saying. So I think a bit of a cockiness and positioning there from Kill B.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be playing a bit more passive from now on, especially as Scarf ramps up his damage. Especially with the Sonic Zoom change where it was, I think, 4.5 down to 3.5 places with that dash. So you don't have quite the amount of escape potential as you used to have on that Vox.
VAP also just, you know, when we talk about Sonic Zoom out of that one. Yata looking for another gank, but he'll be not quite so close to the brush this time. However, VAP not really getting that many scout traps down, finally starting to set some up around the shop. They haven't provided a lot of protection for their laner just yet.
Yeah, they've got a couple now. Setting up that flare in the Tribush as well, just wants to check where the two jungle heroes are right now. For Beyond. You got a nice little scout trap there in that Tribush from Beyond. I just want to mention that. Gives vision of the entire bush. You can stay relatively safe from invades of the other team if you set one up there.
Indeed you can, and interesting that looks like VAP, of course they do have the Adagio in that jungle position this game, so going for a bit of attack speed. And the reason why you do that on Adagio is with the Agent of Wrath, if you build him weapon power or you build him attack speed, if he uses his B ability on himself, he gives himself an additional 70% attack power against enemies. So it's a really big buff. So he naturally is doing a lot of damage, but you can accelerate that, of course, with more attack speed. So it's a nice build there coming in.
That you can. Function himself on Beyond is also playing that jungle Adagio, so it's going to be very interesting. Both these teams having two of the same heroes. We'll see how they play them differently or how similarly the builds go.
Yeah, looks like we do have, of course, Function a little bit behind. He has been pressured a bit by Chivalry. Chivalry getting quite a bit more CS so far, and as such is ahead in terms of the attack speed itemization, both heroes with that heavy prism.
Just pointing out a bit of a difference in the builds so far.
There's Unknown and some of the Gangstars members here tonight, checking out their opponents.
It's awesome to see the support, and like you said, just a bit of studying going on from the other teams for sure. But once again, the Fountain of Renewal picked up by Yada on Beyond. It's a very nice item to pick up early on in the game, whereas Catherine on the other side here for VAP, not quite going for that just yet, just getting that reflex block from Dragon's Heart. Probably going to go into an early Crucible here.
Yeah, it looks like a Crucible build, and that will be an easy gold miner pickup from VAP. So collecting quite a lot, 209 gold for every member of the team. And Beyond trying to answer here with some damage onto the turret. Lily trying to get in there onto Function. He will stun up Forgotten War. Forgotten War is level 6. Is he going to start channeling that ultimate? Yes, he will. And there it comes in, the Dragon's Breath, followed up by Aversive Judgment. Double stun on Yada and Forgotten War. And Forgotten War will be caught, and he will fall. Function going down as well. So VAP setting up that gank as the turret was pressured. It looks like Beyond wanted to get something for that gold miner, but overextended and got a little bit greedy.
Yeah, especially staying as the ultimate came down the Dragon's Breath. Big mistake. I think they should have just backed off.
Well, it does slow, but you also are immobilized during that channel time, and so that means that it was an easy gift of fire into ult stun from Chivalry, and they get the damage down.
That setup, as you mentioned, the Gift of Fire into the Versus Judgment eventually is so easy to set up when you have a Catherine on your team. She just runs in and stuns, and she's going to be on top of at least someone all the time if you engage well. So really liking the just the composition from both teams here with that Catherine and Adagio. Seeming just to work out a bit better here for VAP, maybe Beyond just getting, as you said, trying to force something after losing that gold mine. Never where you want to be.
Yeah, well, Forgotten War does have the reflex block now, so he may be able to stop some of that crowd control coming in. Now they're going to try and take away that gold miner, but not going to work, just poking at it. They realize too many members of VAP around. Small gold lead here for VAP that they've developed, but still quite an even game.
Yeah. Also want to mention the minion candy being produced there, or rather bought, purchased. By the way, best mustache in the league goes to 80-0 for sure.
Hands down.
By far. There's actually there's no competition there. But yeah, there was no way. They were thinking about going for that gold miner, or at least attempting to poke it down just a bit with that scarf. But with the minion candy there, VAP is going to buy a lot of time on that gold miner.
Yeah, you can see the buff there with the cherries. And now Beyond still looking to get some farm out of their jungle right now. VAP has done a very good job of just actively pressuring this game, trying to make it as difficult as possible for Beyond to continue farming. They've dragged Forgotten War down here, even though it looks like the minion wave is pushing back towards Beyond right now, relatively even. We get up to that side of the map.
I was wondering if VAP was going to try to force a fight there as their Catherine hit 6, but not trying to go for it. It seems like they just want to play a bit more passively. They know they're ahead, but not too far ahead, so they don't want to, get over-aggressive, over-confident, nothing like that. Just set up, more vision, get more scout traps out, continue buying the minion candy, denying that gold mine, eventually getting that gold mine, and then moving on from there.
Yeah, interesting that we see the different first overdrives on our two jungle Adagios. So as we watch VAP here, you can see they went for the Agent of Wrath overdrive, which adds more damage to the auto attack power. And of course, he's already built to do a lot of auto attack damage himself. Function a bit behind, but he's choosing to overdrive, get that 5th point in Gift of Fire first, which gives him a lot more heal. So more of a sustain option from the Adagio on Beyond versus the pure damage option from Chivalry on VAP. But that's going to mean that Forgotten War really does have to do a lot more damage in these team fights.
Yeah, definitely the Adagio from Beyond is a bit more of a utility Adagio. Hold that thought, fight breaking out.
Yeah, there we go. Yata going to have to back off right away. He gets caught in a stun, but look at that AoE damage. There's the last Spitfire taking down Lily.
Oh, and this is so huge for Beyond. They can now go on to the gold miner here, and they're almost definitely going to get it just before the gold will go there. They're going to pick up 290 gold for every single member on their team. That fight was gigantic.
Yeah, that one play actually gets Beyond right into a gold lead in this game, so holding off, playing a bit more passively that time around, not attempting to all in on that turret, and they fall back to take the gold miner in the end.
Yeah, I think just a slight timing mistake there from VAP and a bit of a positioning mistake as well. They all grouped up in that bush against an Adagio and a Catherine. They all got silenced, and then, of course, Scarf with his AoE damage. It was just way too much. And even the Scout Trap hitting all 3 members. You know, it's too much damage and then AoE circle there right in the bush.
Pushing onto the turret now, and Forgotten War gonna have to pop his boots to get out of that situation. Doesn't want to get locked down with a stun. And he's just building a lot, of course, of crystal power right now. Looking to maximize that damage. Goes for the Spitfire, and sure, the overdrive adds that damage, but I think most importantly, it adds missile speed. That's a skill shot ability, and so the reliability of hitting it is quite important.
Oh, yeah. It's gigantic. I mean, Scarf, just like, I guess, Celeste, you're always going to want to overdrive those A abilities. You know, even the increased range on Celeste, you get 2 extra range. It's just way too good on both of these guys. And I think almost all the time you'll see that overdrived.
That does make sense. Well, just some protection right now on the gold miner. Forgotten War heading back into lane as he does see Kilby pushing it forward. And looks like we're going to have more normal minion miner kill timings this game compared to our last match where they went down so early simply because the advantage was so great that it was quite easy for them to push in to the enemy base.
Yeah, as this gold mine, it looks like nears about halfway. Now you see the minion candy here just setting up in that bush as well, just defending it for now. Not going to let VAP easily sneak a gold miner kill.
Just getting the Scout Trap down, so they have some eyes on that objective. Now Yata being pretty bold, going to find Kilby in the brush, gets the stun for the Merciless Pursuit. There's the ult from Catherine, and he is just going to get blown up as the Dragon's Breath comes in, starts sweeping through VAP. Adagio and Catherine will have to back off. There's a slow coming in. Chivalry uses his boots to get out, but they're still pursuing here. Really just going to face check that brush as Beyond wraps around. Now Chivalry targeted here. Heal coming in from Function. They're not going to quite get that one. Spitfire falling a bit short.
Yeah, big mistake there from Lily. When you lose one of your members that fast, you absolutely cannot go back into that bush and try to engage.
Beyond decides it's now time to take away that minion miner, really start amping up that pressure. They already have killed 1 turret in this game, and maybe they can go for a quicker kill. So mass recall from Beyond, picks up a few more items, upgrades to boots for our Scarf player. And now they're heading back into the lane. And, you know, like you said, Function going for that more utility build. Actually, yeah, not at all. Very different.
Yeah, going for the Frostburn as well. Just, you know, not using as much damage. They're going for the big slow with a lot of his abilities there. If he can land them, you could slow up to 3 members, so it's going to be great. Whereas Chivalry going for that alternating currents.
And there's more buffs to his auto attack. Alternating current does add your crystal power to every other basic or auto attack that you have. So again, with his buffs from Agent of Wrath, he can really hit hard with his autos. And Function kind of looking to set up for Forgotten War here. They've got a lot of slows. Of course, the goop coming in. If he does use the Gift of Fire on himself, there's a slow from Frostburn. And with some of these Scarf skill shots, that could be quite handy.
As we got some time here, I want to mention something as well. Kilby going for all crystal damage here. No defense. You'll notice that the crawl from last game He was going for, at least a kinetic shield against the heavy crystal damage out of the other team, but none of that out of Kilby, going for all offense here, and I think that's a big mistake. You notice in the last 2 team fights, he's gone down so fast.
Yeah, he has not been able to stand up very quickly, but a lot of that has just been due to better vision control from Beyond, sort of forcing him to face check brushes if he wants to get back to his lane farm.
Definitely true. His positioning has been a bit off as well.
Gold payout collected.
Okay, well, there's another gold payout. 21 gold, very small, but they'll take every piece they can. Kraken now spawning here at 15 minutes. Nobody attempting to take that one quite yet. A little bit risky, of course.
Yeah, I think Beyond may have gone for it, especially with the Scarf. If they knew the position of VAP, all of them going back to base, they could have got it within probably 10-15 seconds, but they don't have much vision on the left side of the map. Looks like they're going to do a slow push as well. They've already taken the minion mine on VAP side of the map. They're at least hovering around their minion mine, not picking it up just yet, though.
We look at the mini-map, too. All those little red dots are the scout traps of Beyond, and really not too many blue dots right now. They need to get deeper vision in. That was the mission they just went on, trying to get control over their tri-brush and over their brush on the shop. And they've now set up with a little bit more information at work here, but that'll be pretty quickly cleared here by Beyond. And with that minion mine already taken from the side of Beyond, they're just looking to keep the wave pushed forward, make sure that they can repeatedly clear out the scout traps and maybe sneak that Kraken on through.
I'm loving the play out of Beyond so far. Just very slow, kind of passive play, not going for anything too much like that Kraken I was talking about earlier. They don't really need it, especially with that Scarf.
Oh, here we go. Lots of poke damage coming in. Chivalry gets bursted down even through his barrier. And what a quick fight. That Scarf just doing immense damage. Now lights up the goop underneath the turret so that it burns down even faster. And they made that look easy. Nice catch there, starting off with the Spitfire.
Yeah, I think this VAP not really... What's the word? They're like essentially letting Beyond get right on top of them, get all their stuns up, and then Scarf is just behind, totally protected, doing all the damage. It's kind of unfortunate. I don't mean to point out the negative parts of VAP's plays rather than the positive ones of Beyond, but I feel like their positioning could use a bit of work.
Well, yeah.
To be quite honest.
Well, it is hard, and I think what's Beyond has done well this game is they've used that Scarf poke to just slowly whittle away these turrets or poke the enemy team off that turret. Take a look at this replay here. Nice opening.
Yeah, all of them grouping up there on the goop that got set on fire, and just a very, very quick fight, as you mentioned before.
Yeah, they tried to set up for to just do something against that Catherine stun, but it wasn't going to work. And there's the Dragon's Breath just melting through Lily, and that's probably what the last fight should have looked like. Just let one of the members die and then try and turn on instead of just getting AoE'd on the rebound. And now Beyond looking for these last 2 turrets. Chivalry just taking enormous damage from this Scarf.
Oh boy.
Spitfire after Spitfire will take him down. And now nothing really Kilby can do. He will fall. And a much lower kill game than last time. Beyond falling behind early, but then finding the gold miner, getting that lead, and pushing it forward with the minion mines.
Beyond fantastic play. Didn't have the best early game, giving up that gold mine early, but from there, it just played it pretty much perfectly. Turned into a very one-sided game. That Scarf play, we're beginning to find out why Krull and Scarf are being banned out in Korea, Monty.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Scarf only actually played once in the qualifiers for this league, but now we'll be banned in our first day and then picked here on our second day of competition.
And he made it look broken now.
Yeah.
He made that hero look so strong. I'm like, I want to go home and just play Scarf. Like,
yeah, no,
forget that Celeste jungle. Let's play Scarf.
When I play Scarf, I have such a hard time chaining that goop and Spitfire together. Being accurate with that Spitfire is tough because until you get it on that overdrive, it is a rather slow-moving projectile.
Yeah.
But once you get it up to that max rank, you really can keep just pumping out that damage. Handshakes between our 2 teams here. Beyond our winners in Group B.
Yeah, love the setup here at OGN. It's very easy to go be very gentlemanly and go shake the hands of your opponents. You can just walk straight over there to their little desks that they got. It's quite nice.
And plus, we have a sick trophy.
Yes.
All
Keep
right.
that in mind.
All right, guys, we are going to go into our last match of the day coming up after a short break. But our man of the match interview will be first. And who could it be besides Forgotten War? Really nailing a lot of those scarf combos and setting up some quick turret kills thanks to the burning goop.
Yeah, didn't really seem like he was picking up any of the kills. You see 8 assists here, but as you mentioned, so much damage over time coming from him, and chaining it on to everybody. It was quite nice.
Was indeed. So we will hand it over to Jae-Song for our MVP or man of the match translation. Take it away.
Thanks, Monty. Today we're going to be talking to Forgotten War, the person who played Scar. Hi. So anything you want to say about your victory? In the beginning, we thought we were getting pushed hard and we thought we were losing, but through the mid game and the late game, we are actually pushing very hard. So that's how we think we took the win. Oh, you had a 14.5 KDA from the pre-qualifiers. How'd you manage to do that? Before this patch, I wasn't doing very well, but after the new patch, all the champions that all the heroes that I started playing looked to be very strong. So I think I'm taking advantage of that really well. You got Celeste banned, and that's one of your strongest picks, I heard. So what do you feel about that? I'm good at Celeste, but Celeste is not the only hero that I'm good at. I'm good at all the other heroes too, so even if you ban Celeste, that doesn't mean that I'm going to lose. Let's go on to talk about Scarf for a little bit. They got a buff this patch. His skills, A skill and B skill, got stronger. His CP items got stronger in general, so it's very good on Scarf. But after the buff changes, it got very well. So I decided to use it in the pre-qualifiers and here in the Invitational Premier League, and then it worked out very well. We might be able to see Scarf maybe in the near future matches. You want to say anything about the upcoming matches? I'm glad that I won the first match, and I want to go on to the semifinals. I'm very confident in ourselves. I'm very confident in my teams. I'm going to try to do well. Thank you. Give a big hand of applause. And I'll get back to you, Monty.
Thank you very much, Jae-Song. Well, that'll wrap it up. Close early game, but once it got late, we really did see Beyond turn on that pressure and take the win. Hunters coming up next from China, who did quite well, 4th place in the Worldwide Invitational, going up against Wild, an up-and-coming Korean team here in their first competition on OGN. So we will see you guys